Have you ever bought two knives at the same time and one of them was good, but one of them was really good? It actually made the other one seem kind of bad. How's it going, everybody? I'm Rollshambo, the connoisseur and collector of all things sharp and shiny. And today we're talking about one such knife that I bought alongside another knife, and it made it seem not quite as good as the other one. By the way, if you've had this experience before, make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, if you could just go ahead and give the like button a friendly pat on the back. It's feeling kind of lonely. Today we're talking about a brand new release from my friends over at Divo Knives. That's right. The people that brought you the Stout V2, the Pony Stout, the Buzz, the Growler. They've come out with a lot of really great offerings lately, and they've all been solid. The only question we have left to answer is the Divo Nip a good knife? Let's talk about it.
This is Sparta!
Welcome in, everybody. Gosh, I'm excited today because I get to talk about a new offering from Divo, but not just one. I've got two, and there's 3 variants total, which means that we actually get some decent coverage today. And, you know, first and foremost, I got a shout out to the Lefty.edc pass around group for making this possible. This knife was in the pass around. This is one that I bought. Long story short, this is the one that I really wanted, and Kevin, aka Lefty.edc, he knew that this was my first choice, but maybe you bought one of these because this variant sold out incredibly quickly. It's called the Purple Nurple. This one is the titanium version, and it was my second choice. And I'm going to tell you right now, it is every bit as good of a knife as the Purple Nurple. It's just titanium. So let's go ahead and get into some of the specs to start us off. We're looking at an overall length of 5.5 inches. 2 1/4 of that is the blade, and then 3 1/4 of that is the handle scales. We have S90V on the blade steel. On the Purple Nurple version, we have purple camo carbon fiber, which is amazing because you get these purple outlines here and then the shimmer throughout the scales. You get purple anodized titanium backspacer, pivot collar, and 3D milled titanium pocket clip. And then of course it comes with all T8 hardware all around. Can I get an amen? Yes. Yes. Look, for once I don't get to say that, you know what, everything is good. I just wish that it had T8 hardware. Because this time it actually does. We have a single-sided captive pivot running on ceramic bearings, ceramic detent, and it is, of course, a liner lock. For deployment, you have a deployment hole, which you can, of course, reverse flick, which is going to be most people's preferred way to do this. You could also slow roll it as well. It also has this flipper tab, which after deployment, it hides within this finger nub right here that is the end of this 50/50 finger choil. The handles are very nicely contoured, and it feels great in the hand. And believe it or not, you can actually get a full 4-finger grip if you've got medium to large size gloves. If you've got large to extra large size mitts, then it might be more of a 3.5. But with the way that these handle scales are designed, you could 100% rest your pinky against the flat of this pommel right there and still get a really good grip. For the weight, we're looking at 2.1 ounces on the carbon fiber variants, and then on the White Mountain Knives exclusive, which is full titanium on these handle scales, you are in fact looking at 2.8 ounces. So overall, much lighter, still light, but a little bit heavier because, of course, it is titanium. Now would be a great time to go ahead and do a quick comparison. And first up, we've got the Spyderco PM2. Very popular knife. A lot of people have it. As you can see, PM2 much bigger in every single way than the Divo Nip. We also have it up against the CJRB Pyrite. Again, much smaller, not by a whole lot though. This is where you start to see things get a little bit more interesting. And if you're a fan of small knives, for the heck of it, let's go ahead and put it up against the Concept Mini Corvid. There we go. There we go. It finally won a match. Yeah. Bigger than the Concept Mini Corvid. So there's the comparisons. I want to do a quick QC check because I feel like that's important. This one, again, is the pass round version. This one came to me brand new. This is the one that I purchased. So right out of the gates, both of these are going to have solid blade centering. Also, these have very good crisp detents. You can actually hear the blade click into place. Watch this. When you can hear the detent, you know that it's quality. And it's not just a stiff detent, it's actually a very well tuned detent because these blades are light. And when you have a lighter blade, you want a little bit stronger detent, especially when your deployment options are flipper tab and deployment hole. When the blade is light, it doesn't have as much inertia as it would if it was a heavier blade. So that crisper detent is actually very, very important. Next up, let's talk about the lockup and lockout. Yeah, there is absolutely no blade play on that one or on this one. Both of them are extremely solid. Lockup is good. Lockout is good. We're looking at about, I would say that's a solid 28%, close to 30% lockup, which is one of the reasons why we have such a good lockout on these knives. And that's going to be the same on both of these. There is absolutely no detent lash, which is phenomenal. I would expect nothing less. And also there is no pivot lash either. Check, 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 and check. Both of these have passed the QC check. Now let's talk about what I like. And there's actually quite a lot to talk about here. For one, I'm impressed that this is literally a small knife that you can use as a primary if what you're using it for is utility cuts. For the life of me, I can't figure out why anybody would buy a box cutter when this will take up just as much or less room in your pocket as a box cutter actually would. We have a very thin blade profile here and a nice deep hollow grind that's going to make this extremely slicey. I love the fact that this blade shape is perfect for cutting open boxes, for cutting labels. It's going to take care of all of the utility tasks. Next, I'm a big fan of the T8 hardware all around. I would expect nothing less, and I would give Lefty.edc and Colin Mason-Pierre absolute hell if these guys put T6 hardware on their knives, but they don't because they know that the community wants T8. A knife brand that knows and understands what the community wants and delivers it is so rare because so often we see shortcuts with these knife makers and manufacturers and designers, and there's no room for excuse on these, and they did a fantastic job. I love the fact that they did use a 3D milled titanium pocket clip because a lot of their previous designs actually utilized wire clips, which for the life of me, I don't like because they just feel like paper clips on my knife, and I don't like it. So thank you for including these 3D milled titanium pocket clips. I'm a huge fan of the backspacers as well. Now, would I have preferred a larger backspacer? Yes, that would have included more weight, but it would have also protected more blade while it's in my pocket. It brings me to my next point, which is pocket space. These knives are 100% not going to take up much room in your pocket. You can put this in a fifth pocket and leave the rest of your main pocket completely unobstructed, so you could actually put a bigger knife in there if you want and then carry this around for your utility tasks. The usage there is 100% fantastic. Another thing I'm a big fan of is jimping. I really appreciate that they have it on here, and I also appreciate the location because that tells me that they were in fact thinking about how people are going to use this. The plunge grind is in a good spot. You're not going to have any issues with the blade smiling on you when you go to sharpen this, and that's great. Also, I'm a big fan of the blade steel. S90V is 100% fantastic. And if you haven't watched my Steel Snob series yet, I will go ahead and link it at this point in the video in the corner so that you can check it out and see what I mean. S90V's steel properties are actually what most people think they're getting when they order M390. Have you ever ordered a blade steel in M390 and expected god tier levels of edge retention? Well, that's actually what you get with S90V. But not only that, it's actually very corrosion resistant. It is what's called a martensitic stainless steel. Also, the fact that they use a deep hollow grind on these is very attractive because with this blade geometry and edge geometry, it's going to stay sharp for a while and it's going to slice through things really, really well. This whole time I thought the Box Destroyer 9000 was the Wiener Warrior from Boker. Turns out I was wrong. That's right, the Box Destroyer 9000 is actually a nip. A Divo Nip to be specific. Now, is that to say that I believe that this is a perfect knife, that there are no wrongs, that they can do no wrong? Of course not. I typically have nitpicks, at least one or two, and it's no different on these. So what are my nitpicks on a knife that generally does everything really well? I mean, it's a small knife that performs like a big knife. The action is good. They use great materials. I agree with the fit and finish. So what's wrong? I will say this. I do appreciate that they have jimping here, but I don't appreciate the depth of that jimping. I'm going to zoom in here so you can see for yourself. That is very shallow jimping. Now, I prefer that if jimping is there, that it is useful. And in this case, it's shallow enough where I really think that they could have just gone without it entirely. While they say it's the thought that counts, the execution counts for more. And I would have appreciated a tighter jimping and a deeper jimping to get the most out of that location. Had they done that, that would have been an absolute home run, and I would have actually said that I have nothing to complain about. So I don't know if they're going to watch this video, but Kevin, Colin, if you guys do watch this video, thank you for the jimping. Please make it deeper. Deeper is, in fact, better. These are $175, and while this Purple Nurple variant is currently sold out at all the places where it was available, which is divoknives.com, as well as urbancutlery.com. I've been made aware that they did hold some of these back and they will be doing a limited release here in not terribly too long. So if you want one of these, keep your eyes peeled, stay tuned in to Divo Knives on Instagram and check out their website frequently. If you like the full titanium variant, I'm here to tell you that this titanium variant is really, really cool. It reminds me of a miniature Brian Brown Jaeger M, and I know that they probably don't like hearing that because it sounds generic, but it's true. This is 100% feels like a miniature Brian Brown Jaeger M, but one that you can actually buy. This is available at White Mountain Knives. Now, whether you're buying it from White Mountain Knives or from Divo Knives, if you want 10% off, I do, of course, have a discount code. That discount code at both locations is RSB10, will get you 10% off. While these normally cost $175, you could, in fact, save yourself $17.50 and instead use that money to go buy yourself some lunch or buy a bouquet of roses for your significant other so they're not too upset when they see more knives in the mail. Whatever you do, don't pay full price when you can get that discount. But I'm really curious to see what you guys think. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of both of these because typically I'm not a small knife kind of guy, but I definitely like small knives when they act like big knives without taking up the room in my pocket and they keep my hands happy. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Did you pick up a Divo Nip? Did you not? If not, why not? And if you want to watch more awesome knife content, go ahead and click on one of the videos that pops up next.